first play we're going to look at, 2nd and 2, one of the Patriots' first offensive plays.
Are there any specific coverage schemes that you feel like has given this Bills offense some problems? Because when it comes to Josh Allen, really any elite quarterback, I don't love trying to get too cute and disguising and doing all this stuff where you think you're getting in their head because you're probably not. You might catch them off like once or twice, but really I like playing as much man coverage as possible and just saying, hey, I want your receivers to beat us because I know that if I just play zone all game, you're going to pick us apart. Now, obviously, on early downs with this Bills run game, which we will get to, you can't just play man coverage because you need eyes in the backfield and you need to respect the explosiveness they have in the ground game. But in those obvious passing situations, would you say like a mix of, I always like when the Patriots go mostly cover one, switch in some cover two as well from those looks and really just keep guessing that way. But again, is there a specific scheme that's given the Bills trouble? Because it doesn't seem like you need to play a lot of quarters if Josh Allen's not pushing the ball downfield.
I think it starts from a single high perspective, which works for the Patriots this year. If you're looking at their coverage ratios, their most used coverage is cover 1, 28% of the time. Their second most used coverage is cover 3 at 25.9. So you're living in a single high world. I think that fits very well with what you want to do against the Bills. One, I think you want to be in single high as much as you can because of the prevalence of their run game. You need bodies in the box. You want to be able to gap out. They are so diverse on the ground with what they can get to in terms of concepts, both gap and zone scheme. And then on top of that,
I hate to say it, but it's beautiful.
It really is. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, the run game gets it going because they're diverse in their concepts, but they can also get to several concepts from the exact same presentation. And so you're sitting there and you're like, okay, here's this tight 3x1. Is duo coming? Is it weak, mid-zone weak? Okay, they're sending the guy in jet motion, which is always, the number one goes in jet motion from the 3 side. That's always the tell for the mid-zone weak. But now it's actually going to be play action. They'll try and give little duo indicators and then build off of that. It's just nice how developed and layered that is. So you more often than not need that extra guy in the box to play the run. But I also think that pairs well with trying to stop this offense in general, because I think you have to make them one-dimensional. You have to try and make them win through the air. I know what Allen did against Baltimore in the fourth quarter, but this offense is not built to regularly chuck it 35 to 40 times a game. They're a run the ball type of team, and so you want Allen throw maybe 25 to 30. I think the recipe for success to potentially beat the Bills offense is, going back, and again, different season in that, but you go back to last year, you see what Baltimore did in, week 3 or 4, and then what Houston did the next week. Granted, they have the guys on defense to do it, and the Patriots have the guys on defense to do this. You play a lot of single high. You either play cover 1 with your good athletic corners or who are just good corners in general, and you say, you know what? Your receivers have to beat us on the outside. You have to beat us one-on-one, or you have to beat us vertical. And you know what? It could be straight up cover 1 where it's straight up man, or you're playing cover 3 and essentially guys are still on an island, so it kind of still functions a little bit like one-on-one. But I think you play single high and you make the Bills have to beat you through the air and through the outside. You force them, okay, if they have to go a little more spread, then you start to change it up and you throw in some cover 2, mix some things in there, trying to change the pre to post snap picture on Josh Allen. But I think it starts with mitigating the ground game and forcing them to beat you through their wide receivers and beat you through the spread and through the pass game.
So you say slow down the run game. Has anyone even done that yet? Because James Cook, I think J.K. Dobbins is the only player with more explosive runs. I had all the stats. He's first in rushing yards. I believe he's up there in rushing touchdowns. James Cook has been fantastic. Good for him holding out for a new deal and trying to get as much money as he could because he's living up to the contract. But like you said, there's so much diversity. The multiple tight end groupings, Dawson Knox is the second highest graded run blocking tight end for PFF. Jackson Hawes is 10th or something like that. So there's a lot of ways the Bills can have success on the ground. What the hell are the Patriots supposed to do? Because they have been a good run defense, but each of the past 3 weeks, we've seen teams have success bouncing outside. They gave up multiple explosive runs last week. It was more than 2 for the first time in the season, and most of those were outside the tackles. James Cook obviously can beat you in a lot of ways. You really don't want that guy in space, though. So how do the Patriots potentially slow down not just James Cook, but also the plays where you get in the shotgun or even sometimes under center, and you got to worry about Josh Allen as well?
Man, it's super tough. The way to truly do it is if you have the Jimmies and Joes, right? If you have the guys up front and that's where, Milton Williams is a loss in general, but I really felt like going into this year, man, a combo of Barmore and Williams on the interior from both a pass and run perspective, that's such a problem in a multitude of ways for a lot of teams. But it starts with, if you've got the dudes up front, if you've got a game wrecker, cool, that's advantageous for you. If not, you've got to do it with numbers. You've got to do it with bodies, because Aaron Kromer has become one of the best, I think, assistant coaches in all of football. He's the Buffalo Bills offensive line coach. And he and Brady have done such a great job marrying the run and the pass, marrying their run concepts with similar presentation, and then adding in motions and shifts. And then Allen has become very adept at reading what's going on and taking things from, whether it's a check or an alert perspective, and seeing the numbers and being like, okay, there's too high and there's a little bit of numbers outside. We're checking this to a run. Vice versa. You got numbers in the box. Okay, cool. We're going to spit it outside. He can beat you mentally. They can beat you physically. They've got the diversity. They've got the presentation. Milt Williams out, I think, is a pretty significant loss. But if you can put this defense on the back of, your corners out there, we'll see again what happens with Carlton Davis, with him being added with an illness. But I think you lean on Davis and you lead on Christian Gonzalez and you say, hey, handle everything on the outside. We have to load everything between the numbers and between the hashes to stop the run, and then figure out some way to kind of make them inefficient. And I think that's the key. And not a lot of teams have done it, though, despite that kind of being the key. Again, the biggest struggles they had last year, Baltimore and Houston. You think of what Baltimore came in, played a ton of single high, stopped the run, forced them into 3rd and longs, gamed up their protections. And then, who did they have on the outside? Brandon Stevens got picked on a little bit, but you have Marlon Humphrey out there. You have Nate Wiggins out there last year. And then you go to Houston, and it's like, oh, cool, we have Derek Stingley, who's one of the best corners in all of football, so we can do that too. And I think Christian Gonzalez is in a conversation for being one of the top 10 corners in the league, and Carlton Davis is nothing to sneeze at either.